So we're going to go straight into the action of the last turn. You still have a part of a turn, of a round, sorry, for some of the characters to try and recover the situation of the loss of the control of the rope holding the sails. The ship has started to drift towards those rocks on a promontory near the actual bay that you're heading into. So, not the bay, sorry, the actual gulf that you're heading into. So, I will bring you back to that. Okay. So, as we start the turn, the Annika's got back up off the ground. He's moved over to try and grab hold of the wheel to help support that. Okay. All right. So Annika's moved over here, and he's also tried to grab the wheel with Kadrak, while Filialis has run over to try and potentially recover that rope. Now, that rope is now flailing in the wind. It's like occasionally it's sort of whipping back over the deck, and then the wind is taking it back out with the sail. Filialis, you can make an attempt to try and get it. However, that attempt will be at a DC 17. You are running out of luck.
And would I still have my astral stuff active?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, so none of those conditions would have changed.
Cool. Because with that I have an extra like 5 feet of sort of like reach.
Yeah, great.
So
All right.
I'll try and sort of
All right, so I'll say with that
grab onto
5
it.
feet of reach, I'll bring the DC back to 15 for that.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to be up to you. It could be acrobatics or athletics to capture it. You will have to make a subsidiary athletics roll once you capture it if you choose to go after it with acrobatics first. All right, so you can get hold of it, but there will be a lower DC on the athletics roll to try and secure it.
Okay. I think I'll go athletics.
Mm-hmm.
But because I've got the arms active, then it goes off my wisdom, not off my strength.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'll roll athletics, but it'll be add 3 to the roll.
Okay. Brilliant. Oh. Oh no. So you reach for it with this astral form supporting you, lunging for it, and just as that point, the spirits of the sea just drag it out and pull it away from you, like lunges over the side again. All right, so do you have any reaction or bonus action that you could take?
Um, Not really. No.
Okay. In the interim, I'm going to say that Annika is going to try and get some sort of leverage, pick the wind, and try and take an action to try and help steer the ship appropriately. Okay. Oh! Okay, so he uses his skill and he times it perfectly. The wheel pushes back and just lunges. So, Damien, as that happens, he lunges and like turns the prow of the boat slightly with Cadrick's help, and the sail comes pulling back and dragging the rope back across you in the wind. It's there to be grabbed. So what I'm going to say there is that the DC has come back to 13 for you to try and grab this. There will be one more round of attempts to try and gain control. This is the final round, but the DC on all of these attempts will start to be 20. And the reason for that is because you see that the crew is starting to lose its nerve and is starting to look at jumping to get off the ship before it hits the rocks at the base of the promontory. All right. Nanaka can't do any more for you. He's used all of his skill as a ship's captain to pick the moment. Now, keep in mind, you guys, you all have a level of inspiration as well, remember? So, like, when you pick up a level, you all have a level of inspiration because you've started the game. Right?
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is. As that rope comes sliding back across you.
Yeah. It just hasn't popped up.
That's right. That's my fault. Sorry. There you go.
I'm going to guidance because I can, and why not?
Yeah.
And then it's an athletics check, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's sliding across you. You don't need to try and reach it.
Yeah, right.
Oh! No!
Can I use my inspiration?
Retrospective inspiration. All right, I'll let you use it, but we'll say for now, if you want to use inspiration, it has to be before the roll. But no, I think you call on the voice that sometimes sits within you, and you feel like this clutch, it slips out of your dominant hand, and then suddenly it's almost like something else guides your hand outside of your vision, and the rope lands in it. But what I'm going to say is I want you to make a dexterity saving throw with the DC also being 13. You've got it.
Yep. So it was a dex save, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right. Oh, so you've gone over, right? Now, what that means is the rope is still on the deck. You've gone over with the rope. The sailor that's with you, just standing adjacent to you, will have a go at trying to grab it as you're doing that, and fails as well. So what happens is that, Damien, you're dragged by the wind across the deck. You hit the side of this, the raised sort of wooden edge of this stairwell down into the dock, and it throws you over towards here. And you land like thumping into a crate. You now have an opportunity. You can make a DC 15 athletics roll. If you hold on to that, there may be a chance your colleagues could help you. Bang. The rope goes sliding out of your hands again.
Just can't win.
No, so it's gone. That rope is now blowing off in this direction, and it's getting tied up at roughly at this point here. All right. So the next round we'll go back to our friend below deck. So
I guess I'm unaware of what's happening upstairs, aren't I? It's just the same old...
Yeah, hear the calling out, hear the distress of the sailors. Yeah.
How, have I got a feel for how far below me, or is there a door to the bilge?
Yeah, absolutely. So the entry to the bilge is over here.
I'm gonna going to try a medicine roll on the old fella. Alive.
Yep. Okay, go ahead. So that will be your action. All right. So, yeah, that's great. So you start to you're stabilizing him, but you know he does need a physician, but you've done better. You've actually staunched a lot of the flow. The issue that you've got now at the moment will be the threat of infection because it's an abdominal wound.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to use my bonus action.
Yeah.
As that.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and frisk out the suspicious sailor.
Okay, go for it. Right. So you start.
I don't really need sleight of hand, but I'm
just fast hands. Yep. So you go in there. You quickly start to feel him over. He doesn't seem to be carrying anything apart from. You notice that he has a tattoo on him, which you had briefly seen before.
Is that the fish and the knife tag?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, right. So that's action, bonus action, and I'm not going to move while I'm helping this guy.
All right. So
what weapon did he have, Matt? Sorry.
He was just carrying like a very long curved knife.
Yeah, okay. I might want to snap that next time.
Yep. Okay. So we'll go to Windra. So what I'm going to say with Windra, I'm going to get her character sheet open so she can go over and try and make an attempt to get hold of the rope. So where are we? It's now coming over to here roughly, isn't it? 5. Yeah, she's sort of stuck. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. No, she can get to there. So Windra goes charging over up the stairs to here to try and grab hold of this rope that you're just chasing around incessantly. And she will make an athletics roll, which is by no means a great trait for her. And she fails. She tries to grab hold of it, and she cannot get hold of it. The sailor here will move forward to try and grab the rope and come and join her. And fail as well. Just like this rope is just so wet and it's just shooting through and you cannot get hold of it. All right. Kadrak, you are there bracing the wheel. You've just helped Arnica following, his lead to turn into the wind to try and give that opportunity. You watched it drift away. Can't hear you, mate. No.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to do a little bit of a creative interpretation of an ability, if you'll let me.
Yeah.
So, one of my runes is the Cloud rune, which has an activated ability.
Yep.
Where basically it says, anytime someone gets hit by an attack within 30 feet of me, I can redirect that attack anywhere else in 30 feet.
Yeah.
So it's almost like something that hits. It's like
you.
teleported.
Yeah, back to you.
So it's moved somewhere else.
Right. Okay.
And it's not just to me. You could be 30 foot that way and get hit by something.
Yeah.
And I could redirect that to hit somebody else 30 foot that way.
Yeah, okay.
But what I'm curious about
Mm-hmm.
is if there was, say a rope swinging around loose that was
a
really hard
wet,
to
a
get.
wet, heavy rope.
Yes,
Yeah,
a heavy wet rope. Well, that's
yeah.
kind of like a weapon to me. Like if you get hit in the head with that,
Oh,
that's,
it'd hurt.
pretty dangerous.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
So,
dragged Damien around on the deck, slammed him into a couple of crates.
yeah, well, if, that rope was attacking someone,
Yeah,
would I be able to redirect that rope in the direction of someone's, waiting arms?
absolutely. Or someone there with, strong enough to grapple it and stop it from wreaking havoc amongst your companions. Yeah,
Yeah, great. Well, I feel pretty strong.
yeah,
I think the wheel. So the captain's just rolled a natural 20 for
yeah,
his command
yeah,
of the
yeah,
wheel. Now, I know he can't help anymore,
yeah.
but am I fair enough to assume that that wheel is enough under control that I could reach away,
Sure.
activate the runes on my armor,
Yep.
and try and bring that rope basically to me? But
Yeah.
with that
Great.
being said, maybe not right up here on the deck
No.
because I'm sure I probably have to move, but
Yeah. Yeah. You'd have to get within 30 feet of Windra, basically.
Cool. So,
Yep.
by the way,
Yep.
that's the
That's your cloud
ability.
rune. Yep.
Yeah. So if I came to about there,
Mm-hmm.
right, that brings me within about 30
Yep.
foot of
That
Windra,
certainly does. Yep. And you
and
activate your cloud rune.
I activate my cloud rune.
Okay. So to your welcoming arms as it slams into the other guy. You watch as what I'm gonna do here, this is just quite interesting. All right. Okay. So yeah, you watch as the rope like slams off. The other guy tries to grab it but misses it, and you see Winter sort of like recoiling back from being thumped with this rope just going across her, and you watch it just against the flow of the wind. It just flies back right towards you. Now it's coming towards you. Now with regards to the cloud ring, yeah. Yeah, target this magic can transfer the attack's effects regardless of the attack's range. So as it comes swinging back towards you, you will still need to make a dexterity saving throw, but it will only be 11 or better.
Okay. I have a -1 to dexterity saving throw, so this will be good.
Now you still have an inspiration level. Oh,
I failed to take that in time.
no.
It couldn't be like, say, an athletics check to grab it or something like that. No, I failed.
So it's come towards you and like now it's hit you. So it's over here. But that you watch as it just swings against the wind and comes straight back towards you and slaps you. Now, one of the things that I will get you to do, can you roll an intelligence saving throw for me?
Ah, the thing I'm even better at. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So you get the sparks that you get sometimes in your head, like like you've eaten ice cream and it's gotten onto your teeth. It happens every now and again, and it's sort of like, and for a minute there was sort of like a bit of clarity with this angle, and it was like things were going on in your mind that you knew how to work out where it would be and what it would be, but at that moment the stinging went away and the calculations went out of your mind, and you fumble it, even with your power that you've brought. All
All
right.
right, well, that's my turn then.
All right. This is getting harder and harder for everybody. Philly Ellis,
Well,
it's near you.
all this is being a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's reasonable to assume that I might be a bit angry.
Yeah.
So I'll enter the rage thing
Yeah.
for 2 turns.
Yeah.
So I have advantage on strength dexterity checks.
Okay,
And
so
then
just your eyes of your little friend. So, Cadric, you're watching as this drips away, and the pain that you get in your head sometimes starts to go away, and you watch the glaring eyes of your little Savin companion as he comes like charging towards you with a look of abject savagery on his face.
and so I'll
Yeah.
try to sort of grab it.
All right, go ahead. So you got advantage. So the fumbling around's coming back, but the DC will still be 17.
Yeah. So this will be with the +3.
Yep. Oh, so you get up there. No, you got advantage, don't you? Yeah. So
Yeah, I do. I have advantage.
So I'd imagine that you basically climb up the front of Cadrak's giant form, like you grab hold of it, and sort of like start jagging it down. Now that will give Cadrak an opportunity, and he contribute to that in a sec, to get that and secure it. But you jump down, and you stamp on it with your feet. You wrap it around a gun wall. You just sort of, what you're doing is just heaving. So, Cadrak, you're watching as your little friends climbed up you, and then basically come down again with this rope, and you can sort of now help as it comes down and grab it with your clutch that you were going for before, and it is tied down. And as with that, the sail stabilizes, and you see that you start breaking out of the actual storm clouds themselves, and the water just seems to settle so quickly. That's quite surprising how quickly the transition into this basic estuary amongst these rocks starts to come to pass. The ship starts gliding forward, and Arnica sort of gets on the wheel, starts turning the wheel. Now the sails are back under control again. He sort of directs you around, but there is a lot of damage on the deck. He heels down. He goes, "All right, you get the anchor down. We need to survey what she's going on here." And then, she just goes through into a little channel between some rocks, and the crewman up the front moves away from Windra after helping Windra get up off the ground, and we'll go and start releasing the anchor from the side down. So gently the ship's sort of hits the point of the anchor, and then the bow sort of swings around on the anchor, and they throw out a rear hook to secure it at the other side, and it stabilizes. You see that you're at the foot of a promontory, which basically sits, just get that here. Where are we? There we are. So you're sitting at a promontory which is on the south of Balath. So where you have here, you've sort of been pushed by this storm up, and you're sort of sitting here on the tip of this promontory here. So this little spot here. To the south, from this promontory, across the harbour, you can see lights, very faint lights, which Arnica explains to you is the lights of South Tower, which sits across the actual opening of this gulf ahead of you. Arnica says that he's tying the ship down for the night. He says, "We'll be in Angel's Port in the morning." He goes, "Now, I don't know whether or not you're getting off there or not. You can stay if you want, but I'm heading up around the coast if you want to go. I shall be in there for a day. I'm taking on a load of olives, olive oil, cured things, salt." And he goes and helps his unconscious first mate. And they start tidying the ship up. All right. So, obviously, Squadge, you are below deck with this wounded man. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Are there any portals
No.
No, I wouldn't
No.
imagine there are.
No.
There's no hatches. So the only. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm still calling for Damien's assistance.
Okay, so Damien, you're sort of picking yourself up after being slammed against this wall, and sort of like, but you do hear Squadge's voice down below. So, do you want to head down there?
First of all, I will head down, but anyone who is unconscious, I will cast Spare the Dying on. I
Okay.
don't need to touch him. I just need to be within 30 feet.
All right, no worries. So you just have to move a little bit over towards Uvrona, and you cast Spare the Dying on her. You see that she starts to rouse. As you start heading down. They're the only one who's unconscious now.
Yep.
As you start heading down below decks. So, Damien, you climb down the staircase and you turn around to the sound of Squadge's voice. You look down, you can see there's spatterings of blood. You see this dead crewman who you were familiar with. You remember that he was referred to as Lukiel. You heard one of the other crewmen calling out to him. So I'll pop that into chat for you.
I will immediately push past Squadge and try and assess whether or not just assess the body and see if there's anything I can save.
No, this one is well and truly dead. Squadge's blade has finished him off. But you can see the old merchant-looking fellow who Squadge has put like a rudimentary bandages on to compress that.
Oh gee, I'm sure that will help.
Right. So you're going in there to fix that? What are you going to do?
No, what the hell happened? Why is there a dead man?
So you know that Squadge trusts absolutely nobody apart from the Knot. He's almost conspiracy theory kind of crazy about how you can't trust anybody else. He says he was after the pouch. He killed this man and he was after the pouch. And Gassanolt had a pouch, didn't he? Didn't he have a pouch that we wanted? And this man was after a pouch. But this other man didn't have a pouch, but he gave me his wallet, didn't he? See, this is his wallet. Do you think perhaps the captain is out to kill us? For this crew member is his crew.
I mean, those are a lot of accusations in a very short amount of time. You were the only person present for this, so I want to jump to conclusions.
You see this fellow who's sitting there like in agony on the bed looking up and goes, "Are you the healer?"
Oh shit! Yeah, hang on. Sorry, I didn't know you were there. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll spare the dying straight away, and then
Yeah, sure.
I'll just yeah, I'm just gonna spare the dying. Yeah.
Okay. All right, can you just pop it to chat for me again, just for the detail, just to have a look at what that's going to do?
I think it technically only works on unconscious. Oh, people had 0 hit points, but either way, I'll go over and stabilize them anyway.
Okay, no worries.
Just with like a medicine check, if I can.
Yeah, yep. So you're going to have another medicine check to see if you can improve on what Squadge was doing before? Yep, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just look at the dressing, which you have to, tip your hat. Squad has done a good job on this sort of battlefield dressing. It doesn't look good, but it's actually it's doing the job. But you just change the compression a little bit. You get out some of your sort of dried fish gut twine for suturing, and you start to just suture up this cut just to help stop swelling the flow.
Yeah,
You'll spare the
I've got
dying.
a couple of
Sorry?
vials of I got some vials that I cooked up to just disinfect and all that jazz.
Yeah, so you use basically your kit just trying to do what you can to stabilize it. The spare the dying keeps him alert rather than passing out again through the pain of having that suturing done, and he falls back into his bed, but far, far more stable and calm.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All
And
time in your ear, you've got Squadge going, and you know Gassanolt left the ship without telling us. He would never leave the ship, and he set foot on the land, and the only person that could set foot on the land was the captain. So how did we get him there? How did he get there? What do you think? Old man, tell him.
the old man, like, looking at him, he goes, I don't know how he got there.
No, tell him of what the man was asking from you.
Oh,
This
yeah.
Squad kicks him.
Yeah, yes, he wanted a pouch. He was asking for a pouch. I said I could give him gold. Before I knew it, your friend was here and had run him through. But I will see that you're rewarded, as I promised.
What?
Pardon?
Rewarded. Remind me.
You'll be rewarded. I can get gold once we get into the city.
Right. I think we need to discuss with the rest of the group about what has transpired.
Okay.
It's been a long day for me. I couldn't hold on to a rope for the life of me. All I do in my spare time is do push-ups, man, and I can't even hold on to a rope. I'm not feeling too great.
All right, so he falls into a little bit of a stable stupor. So I'd imagine you could potentially, you see the crew have gone down into the hold, into the bilge to try and see what had happened to the bulls. You can hear like the sound of a blow, and you are told later one of the two bulls that were carrying did have a broken leg, so they put the bull down in the hold. It was in pain. The other was okay, but they wouldn't have
No
thought.
one comes to me first, man.
No, they don't know what you can do. They had no idea. So
I'm literally, I'm not a qualified doctor, but I'm in training. It's close enough.
so you find out they do that. So they're down there. They're now dismembering this bull while they're down there. You come back up, and Uvrona has come to a sense. She's got quite a nasty bruise on her forehead where she was face planted with Cadrak's assistance. Not that she was aware of that. It appeared to be an accident. And she is sitting there. What I will do is really only for Cadrak's attention. Could you just make a perception roll for me for Cadrak, please? Okay, that is enough. You notice she very suddenly notices that she's not wearing her sort of thick leather and silver bracer anymore. Roll an insight roll for me as well. Okay. Kendrick, what crosses your mind is she seems to dispense with the idea of the fact it's missing quickly, an item of some value, but quickly just rolls her sleeve down. So her focus was on covering the tattoo, not the fact the item was gone.
And that tattoo was a fish and a knight.
Yeah.
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 Cool. I come up to her and I ask her if she's okay, and she had a bit of a knock and anything to see what she remembers.
And she's
Right.
sitting there, and Annika, as you know, nobody saw it. They were all facing the other way, and you'd slid in from behind, and Annika goes, "Yeah, girl, what happened? Was it the tipping of the boat?" And she says, "I don't know. I don't know if it was a wave, if it was a spar coming over from the rear sail. Something just hit me in the small of the, yeah, hit me in the small of the back. I went over the wheel, and then down onto my face." But nonetheless, Kadrak, she's uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable, and it's not. Yeah, she has the expression of somebody who looks exposed.
While I'm doing this the whole time, I'd like to look at her wrist in a way like I want her to see that I'm looking at the space her bracelet was covering, and I just want to see if I can gauge her reaction to that.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is get you to make a performance roll for me. Because of Kadrak's intellect, he does struggle to put these concepts that he has into action. So, go ahead. No,
I'm just too subtle.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Kadrak, you weren't subtle, but no one understood what you were doing. You're sort of like looking at something and then like directing and like sort of like that with no real effect.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right.
So Annika comes up and he goes, "Well, I reckon we should be getting to our bed. It'll be dark soon." And you see the sun is starting to drop over the western hills. It's quite beautiful. This sort of hill range that runs along from this promontory. You can see that there is the ruins of what looks to be a very, very ruined old watchtower on the hills there. Very much as what you've all learned. You all have an eye for Kandum architecture from the rulers that used to rule this island for a few hundred years. Obviously something of their design that's been destroyed in the war when the Ilathians actually regained their independence. So the night goes down. You have the pending timeline of the establishment of the Knot. You need to find a new Tyer. Windra comes forward and you go back down below decks, where some of the blood has been cleaned away. The body of that Lukiel has been taken down into the hold. And Windra, goes into her storm cloak of her people and puts a leather pouch down, Gasanolt's pouch. And she says to you, "Is today the day?" In many ways, you've all been hesitant. It's only been a day and a half now, but it's almost like by someone taking the act of untying Gasanolt's knot, his signature knot, on the pouch, then it's sort of saying that that's it. He's, you know. But you all know that you have now what is 5.5 days, where if that a new Tyer does not put a new signature knot on that pouch, the coda will be transported back. And your knot dissolves.
Say I'm loyal to the group,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not a leader. I'm not a Tyer.
You see, the thing is too, for a lot of you, you know full well that Squodge is the oldest member, the longest serving member of this new version of the Knot. So, Squodge, you have recollections of other members of the Knot that have been lost and have been replaced by these newcomers. Yourself and Filialis sort of came through first as time's gone on, and gradually the other members have become part of it for one reason or another, all brought in by Gassanolt. So Squodge has ruled himself out of the role of the Tyer.
He's just a little bit too untrusting of other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still have 5 days. I don't think we have to decide right now.
Okay.
Carrick deep down believes that he's like the perfect guy for the job, but has been told many times no.
While you're
But
thinking
convinced
about
he
that,
can do it.
while Kadrak's thinking about that, I want you to make another intelligence saving throw for me, because of the emotional pressure of this situation. Oh, again, the pain, like it's almost like tooth nerve pain in your head, like fires up, and again that thought that you would be a good choice of a Tyer just comes up and becomes different in its clarity, but that just goes away again quickly. So Kadrak has ruled himself out, no matter what. So no one has to take a decision today. You do still have time. But you have to keep in mind that you're aware that once you get to Angel's Port, only the coda can give you the location of where you need to look to meet with your commission. So what? Okay.
Squad shares his mistrust of the captain and his crew with all of the party.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, they took Gassanolt off the ship and killed him. They tried to kill this man for his pouch. The coda's in a pouch.
Okay.
This man had a tattoo on him. I'm not sure what to say. I mean, well, the captain is guilty. He's either guilty of malice or ignorance. Ignorance in selecting a crew member that would do this, or malice in directing his crew member. But he is guilty of this man's death.
What? A tattoo? What was the tattoo?
It was now is the what have we done with the body, Matt?
That body was taken by the other crew members down into the hold.
Okay. So I say it was a fish with a knife.
the like match card game is like playing in Cadrick's head right now, and he's trying to like imagine if the tattoo that he had is the tattoo, and
Yeah.
what can I do? Like,
Trying to figure. Oh,
he has a spark of genius,
it does.
and this is genius for Cadrick's standards.
Yeah.
Same tattoo. I saw it.
So Kadra, you just put out like a sharp knife you carry in your belt just for eating, right? It's not a weapon, but you sort of, you know, not having that sort of even though you had this flare, like you look at it as you think it's a flare of somebody else's brain. You don't think it's your brain. Somebody else's brain becomes accessible to you sometimes, and you have these sort of recollections. But going back in true Cadrak style, you don't think twice about the fact of quickly carving what you saw into the table, and the representation. This is something about your dwarvish companion that it amazes the rest of you. For something that was so quickly just lashed out with a knife into this tabletop, Squad, when you look at it, it's like a perfect representation of the tattoo that you saw. It's like like a photographic effigy, example of what you saw, quickly carved into the table.
Exactly that one. No different at all. They're going to kill us.
So the way this is progressing, we have the guy with this low intellect inspirational stuff. We have like a conspiracy theorist of the highest order, right? So this is going actually very well at the moment. Okay, great. All right.
What does everyone else think? Do you think we should get them first?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Just, you know, if you're really that worried, we can just get off at the next stop. I mean, I'd rather not, you know, kill anyone.
We're getting off at the next stop anyways.
That level
Just,
of
yeah,
intensity.
I remind you of rule 2,
Yeah. Sorry.
is make a friend before an enemy always. So
And that, all right, and that sort of sits everybody back in their chairs around this table. That is what you're meant to do. And it seems like you sit there and you're thinking already you've lost Gasanolt's guidance on these things. Now, obviously, you're all aware that Damien is, you know, like, so quietly you think it's a bit of a goody-goody, but you know, sort of always got this life affirmation attitude, and you know, which is really what you want in the Knots medic. You know, someone who's willing to do that and put themselves behind so everybody else can be well maintained. But you definitely, yeah, as your Seven friend raises that, and it has a great effect because it comes from the lips of a Seven. With even though Filialis isn't entrenched in the language of his people because of the way he was raised, he still has that accent element that Gassanolt had. So coming out of his mouth sounds a bit like the way Gassanolt would have said it, to refer you back to the rules of the order. He was absolutely, you know, other knots. Obviously, you come across other knots, but in the hall, in Hadring's Anvil, and you knew that Gassanolt was a real stickler for the rules of the order.
Just pushes the pouch just a bit closer to Phileas. Sort of pushes it towards him.
And you see the And then what I'll say is that Windra sits across the table from you, and she says, "Well, really, I've only come with you, and I'm now part of your knot because one of my people was needed for what task may sit before us. It's not really my place to take that role. So I would agree. We now sit with Filialis or Damien as an option for this leadership."
I think Phileas would back away from that.
Yeah, I am too. So
So you push all your chairs away. I can see this top-down scene from this round table, right? Which is bolted down in this ship, but the chairs do move. All of you have pushed your chairs back. And you're all looking at this pouch with that, because knot law, like you all have your own signature knot, which is on your own sort of pouches. It marks your, if you had saddlebags, you could tie twine in it and someone would know that it's Cadrak's saddlebag, right? Another member of the order could read that. The knot of a Tyer is slightly different because the knot of a Tyer also incorporates the knots of those within their knot. So you think of it, it's like, I suppose a poor description would be like a length of macrame almost. The Tyer's knot is like, has their own knot, has the knots of those that are with them. The Tyer of the knot is also responsible for having and wearing a band of rope that's been unthreaded and rewound with the signature knots of all of those that have been lost from the knot while they are the Tyer, to carry their memory. And that was something you couldn't recover, because when you found Gassanolt, you couldn't find his clothes or his blade, but you found his pouch. Now, what I will say to you is that the pouch of a Tyer in every knot is a bag of holding.
I don't know. I think we should let's just sleep on it. What do you reckon?
I think you're scared.
Well,
Filialis, Damon, you are scared.
I won't deny it.
I think this proves what we all knew for a long time. This was always my destiny. He stands up, and I'm sure someone just pushes him straight back down.
Do you know what the best bit about that, Max, was? Your image froze. So it looked like your hand was over your mouth when the image froze. So it looked like you were using ventriloquism.
But yeah, if no one else steps up, Cadrak will do it, which you shouldn't want.
Everybody has that
That's
option.
the threat.
Everybody has the option to
okay.
step in.
How about this? We all get a piece of parchment, we vote. And whoever has the most votes
Becomes the Tyer by default.
yeah.
Now, one thing you can do, there is no shame in the order for a Tyer to rescind their role. But once you accept it, it can only be rescinded in the chapter hall. So it can only be rescinded at the altar of the Lady of Luck with the house master or mistress of the hall. So
maybe when being a Tyer would a different tire would be good for this knot. Now, Kedrick, I'm not sure it's your time.
All right. Make a persuasion roll for me. Right.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. So it is quite a persuasive description, Kadrak. You look at your companion who's been with ever since you started and became part of the knot. Squadge has been there, and he suggests to you that maybe it isn't your time yet.
Cadric makes a face. And he says that he's open to a vote, but he's not writing on the thin wood. He'll either carve it in stone or he'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to point at Filialis. Say, that one. My vote done. Bed now.
Squad goes, I second this motion.
2 votes, right. All right. So what I'm going to do here for Windra, I'm going to roll an intelligence roll, just a straight intelligence roll. Now, if the roll is 11 or better, she will just follow that. Yep, she votes. She puts her vote in for Filialis as well. So, are you there, Damien?
Oh, muted. I was moving around.
Sorry. Are you there? Because like 3 of your companions now have voted for Filialis to take the knot. To take the tails
Sorry.
roll.
I was trying to get up and get some tissues, but I just had a weird technical mishap. Yes, I will also be voting for Filialis.
So it's unanimous. A 7 or a 7 to replace a 7.
Yeah.
I want all of you to know that you're voting for a literal teenage girl to run an entire knot. But
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be
Okay.
right.
All right.
You look the most like him. It's only right.
You can always rescind it, buddy. You can always rescind it.
You look
All
the
right.
most like him. That's weird. All right. So, Windra moves the pouch across the table towards you. You see the knot that would untie it is Gasanolt's knot. So you must untie that, the top knot, replace it with your own, and then retie the other knots, the signature knots that you know for the members of your knot, so that each one of them is represented and your own knot as a member goes out of the actual line. So the significance of that for the Tyer is by retying each other's signature knot, is you are doing that with that person while they're there, so they can see that you've done that. It will take some time. It is fundamentally a ritual of the order.
all right.
While you're there, a sailor, one of the sailors, brings down, obviously, this bull they've killed. They've cut some steaks out of it. They've been cooked. They brought them down from the deck from a fire there, and they put this tray with some potatoes, some parsley, you know, things like that, and a huge, thick steak, a bouffe steak, has been put in front of you all while you are sitting there watching your companion go through the act of tying his own knot.
I'm glaring at the sailor. I say, not now. I try and even stop him from coming down.
All right, no, that's fine. So, what I'll get you to do is make a dex saving throw for me to see whether or not you react quickly enough to block as he's coming up.
Oh,
So, squad, you sort of leap up, not to disturb this moment for Filialis and yourselves. You don't insult the sailor. He's bringing you food. You know, it's an act of goodwill. But you block him and you just take the plates of food and you go and put it onto a counter to the side and mention that you're not to be disturbed. And go back to the table. So
I
with
grab
that,
some of the steak.
oh, yes. So Catherine just grabs them off the plate, just sitting there chewing.
all of us.
Yeah. Which is your squad is sitting there. There's something he's going to do anyway. It was inevitable.
Yeah.
So he's just sort of sitting there while he's doing it. All right. So you go through this moment. You release Gasanolt's knot, and you copy the knot onto a new piece of rope that will have to be your responsibility for the signature knot of the people who have been lost while you're the Tyer. And then walk around the table and demonstrate for each one of your companions as you retie their signature knots from memory in front of them. All the while now the bag is sitting there. All right, do you want to open and remove the contents of the bag or examine the contents of it?
Yeah, I'll have a look what's in it.
Okay.
To take it out.
All right. So as you start doing that, you... let me just go here. All right. So a vial. You pull a vial out. And it's leather bound, but it has like a crystal neck, and you can see the faint gleam of magical power in it. But you look at it and you can see it has the mark of the order on it, and you know that this is a potion of healing. You don't know what strength, but you know that's something that was taken out of the bag. So you set that aside on the table. The next thing that you pull out is a scroll. Now, when you open the scroll up and look at it, you or any of your other companions can make an Arcana roll. But the roll will be at disadvantage unless you have, identify. The identify spell would pick it straight away. But you can make an Arcana roll at disadvantage because none of you, I believe, are wizards by learning. You're either sorcerers or natural magics. Yep. Okay. So you're not into written forms of magic. So all of you can have a go at Arcana at disadvantage. As you just pass it to the members of your knot now for them to examine it. Yep. Okay. Okay, so, Squadge, you look at it. At 11 was enough for this item. That item is a scroll of the spell Witch Bolt. Okay, so we'll keep that up. Right. Again, you reach in there. You pull out a beautiful silver comb inlaid with what looks to be coral in it. Right? And you can see that there is a small tag tied to it.
Sorry, Matt, what was it?
It's a comb, a silver comb, and it has a tag tied to it, but it has like a coral inlay of beautiful fashioning. There is a note on it, And it is so strange because as you look at it, Filialis, you see that the note is written in Savinoy. And you're the only one that has an opportunity to potentially read it. Almost like Gassanolt knew you would be the one who would be opening the bag. So I'll get you to make an intelligence roll for me as you're trying to read the Savinoy, which is not good. But in this case, it is good enough. Basically, all you can make out for the note was this is from Squat. This is for Squatch. Something kept by his mother.
I'll give Squadge the letter.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's like a note tied to the comb.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Scott, you look at this comb and you see that it's got like a jeweler's oil on it to keep it from being tarnished. And as you rub the oil in your fingers, right, you bring it up to your face and you swear you can smell your mother's hair. Just this memory from your childhood.
Yeah, I become very quiet and almost more at pace. There's not as much conspiracy in the world at the moment.
Okay. So you go into the bag again, Filialis. The next thing you pull out is a scroll, another scroll. Again, Arcana can be used at disadvantage. All of you can make an attempt to do that. We didn't need to roll for Windra, but I'll do it this time around too.
It's all pretty bad, isn't it?
None of you can make that out. But you can tell you know enough about the arcane that this is something unusual. You can also tell that it is something that has 3 repetitions. One which is now blurred and the ink seems to have run, so the energy has come out of that one use of this thing. All right, so as you go in, you pull out the next item, and in this, it's actually, again, is written in Savinoy, but there's some Ilathian mixed in with it. And it clearly reads, as you look at it, I mean, you're responsible for making sure the knot knows what's in this bag. So there's no hiding the disclosure of these things. And you look at it, and it's actually for Filialis. And it's like a talk. And the note on it says, "This is for when the rage gets too much, my little friend."
All right,
So you take that.
put it on.
All right. You haul the next item to come out. The next item is a ring. A ring that definitely has an arcane element to it. All right. When you go in again, you pull out the next item. And the next item is... It's like a... It's hard to explain. It's like a crystal. but the crystal has like a fitting over the top, and it has straps on it so it can be fitted onto your mouth, but it has fret holes in it. It looks like an ancient like mouthpiece or theatrical costume element, but it's made of a crystal that you definitely have not seen before, Filialis. But you have, Damien. When you can see that it clearly has a tag on it, which has Damien's name on it, you hand it over. When you look at this, Damien, you can see that in very small script on the inside, in Kandung, like the language of your people, it says this lets you speak with the voice of sleep. You're not sure what it means, but you look at it, it's a Vafori crystal, a form of diamond, an enormous diamond.
Sorry, is there any, with my knowledge of those diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
can I think of anything that might connect it to sleep in any way, if the two are related?
All right. So what I'll do is I'll get you to just make a general intelligence roll for me as you're racking your brain. That's what this could be.
Can I guide myself?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll do that.
Yep. Okay.
And
roll your dice.
Just for good measure, I'll add a d4.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
not
brilliant.
bad.
Brilliant. This is a solid. You know enough about gemcraft from your people to know this was a solid diamond, and the power that went into creating this like mouth sort of piece that went across, and it's like what you appreciate this is if it's related to sleep, you think that the power that's created by Vaforian diamond is it can somehow allow you to speak in a language of sleep. But you don't know what that means yet. Could it be sleep to end suffering? Could it mean sleep as in sleep? Could it be the language of dreams? You don't know. But it somehow creates a magical transference.
Alright. I will need to study this further then.
Mm. Now Max, while he's still here visually, he apparently is not here physically. There we are. He's gone now. Ah, there he is. He's back. No, he's coming back slowly. Is everything in the Northern Territory is relaxed, even the internet? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, it's why it's NT, isn't it? Not today, not tomorrow, not Tuesday, and not Thursday.
Can you hear us, Mac?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm at the furthest part of the house possible from the Wi-Fi router, which doesn't help.
Oh, no.
And yeah, sorry, I've been in and out a bit because I'm dog sitting, and the puppy likes to tear stuff, so I'm just checking on them.
Well, I'll just say the last item that the next to last item that's pulled out is a notebook. And the notebook is written in Savanoy, but it's written in older Savanoy. And at this moment, Filialis, you would not even attempt to try and read it. You'd need to spend time studying it. It's very much in the old language. So the last item that you find in this bag, as you pull it out, when you pull it out, is a small mirror. But it has like what looks to be like a petrified wood frame around it. and there is a note at the bottom with a sealed envelope, a tiny sealed envelope, like that someone would have from a very upmarket stationery set. Like the elite writing their little notes, inviting people to a dinner or a ball. It is sealed, and it just has Cadrak's name on it in Ilathian. Okay. So I gather you're handing that over?
50-50 chance I can read.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-50 chance I can read my own name.
Okay, all right, go ahead. See if you can work it out for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Okay. What are you doing? Rolling D50, D100 for me? What's the... You can read your own name. Below 50 or above? Can you hear us, Max? Max? Max?
Nah, he's gone.
You can't hear us. No.
It's that Northern Territory internet again.
Mm-hmm.
Are you you know your mouth's moving, Max. We cannot hear you. Can't hear, mate.
They might have turned off 3G.
Data pigeon. Oh, what a shame. Pivotal moment, Max. You're getting your gift from Gassanolt. What I'll do is, Filialis, roll an insight roll for me. While we're just... Cadrak is working out whether he can read his own name. All right. There's something about this. One of these items that's still sitting on the table. You've got the bolt, which you know to be a scroll of Witch Bolt. You've got the other scroll with one of three uses, which you cannot read. And you have the notebook. And you're looking at these items and you're thinking to yourself, there is something so important in this. Hi, mate.
hello. On my laptop.
Okay. What a shame. So, did you hear the item that was handed to Cadrak? If Cadrak was, you obviously heard it, but the question was whether or not he recognised his own name.
Yeah. I think I do get most of the way there, and I double check
Okay.
with somebody else. I'm just looking for dice. I know I've got them somewhere. Buried them. Okay, if I could ask Matt if you can roll for me and just let me know what I get. I'll be
Sure.
on my iPad, I think, for the moment.
75.
Oh, does that mean I know it or I don't?
I don't know. You didn't determine if it was under 50 or over 50. But I'm going to say...
Okay, I'm going to say that's...
Yeah?
Okay, no, you go.
No, I think given the fact that you get a bit of a clue because Filialis is actually leaning over to you and handing something to you that you think it may actually be for you, given the fact that you've already witnessed what's been going on. But you get...
Read your name, you're reminded of your name.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'd like to open the envelope.
Yep.
I basically rip it. I probably tear the letter a little bit when I do, and I have to piece it back together. But
Yeah. All right. So You read it. All right, make an intelligence roll for me. However, you've read, given time, you can read things slowly still.
All right. Matt, make an intelligence roll for me, please. That'll be at -2.
All right, I'll roll a d20 and -2 for you. All right, what did we get there? So 15, you read it. Basically, it's a brief note, and it says, Cadrak, my friend, this is an elven mirror, believe it or not. It actually writes that. It is powerful. You must look into this regularly. On one of the days you look into it, you will see the reflection of who you really are.
I'm skeptical because it's elven.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit foreign, but you know, I look in the mirror.
Okay. At the moment, you look into it, and you see Cadrak, but you look at your reflection, and it's not your expression. It's the expression of somebody different. But it's still you, and it's still. You look back, Cadrak, like you turn back and you look. It's definitely reflecting what's behind you. It's reflecting you, but it's reflecting a different you.
Cool. I put up a show that I don't care, but I think it's pretty obvious that I'm a little bit disturbed by what I see.
Mm.
Yep, still me, just a mirror. Nothing to see.
But you do
But
notice that the mirror. So sorry, Max, but the mirror actually has a loop has been added to it. He's obviously had a metal worker put a steel ring on the top of this petrified wood, and a chain's been added to it, a steel chain that can be worn around your neck if you wanted to.
Despite how dismissive I've been of it, I very, very gingerly put that on and sort of tuck it almost into my beard for a bit of shock protection.
Yeah. As you do that, Cadrak, you push it down into your armor, and which you've got iron components of your armor with the leather and all that kind of stuff. You notice that you come in contact with the iron, with the face of the mirror, as you get distracted by, like the conversation in the room briefly, and you notice the flat surface of this elvish mirror actually scratches the iron, not the reverse. So the iron actually gets a mark on it, not this apparently glass surface. All right. So you look at that, and you all look in the bag, and the thing, Filialis, that comes to you is there's nothing in here for Windra. You look across at Windra, and you see that she doesn't in any way seem concerned about it. In fact, the expression that she has for you is more of, like, you see this sort of mixture of, like, reverence is too strong a word, but acknowledgement of your acceptance of your new role. The last item that's in the bag, which is not an item of use, you can see that you knew what to expect there, was when you bring out the coda. So I'm just going to show you a picture of what the coda looks like. All right. All right. So that is the coda.
How big is it?
It's about, when it comes out, it's about so large.
Yeah.
It's quite large. And it's like a mechanism. The dial at the top is like a winder, like a mechanical winder. And then you let it go. And it bangs around on the table. You know, for example, you've seen this happen before. And the symbols are symbols that you have been trained in as to what they mean. And they relate to the table below. Now, this changes periodically. You wind the coda and it will determine the truth of a location within the order. So for the functional mechanics of this, it's a D12 roll. There is always in every one of these coda, there is a number that is relevant, an item that's relevant, a time that's relevant, and a word that is relevant, right? So I'll just, for the sake of the mechanics of this, and we know we're not going to be running probably a full length session because we're missing a party member. But what I'll get you to do is just go into the dice roller and put in for 4d12.
Alright.
Okay. So if you were using it, this won't be the real roll, but this is where you will get your contacts for your commission. So I'll give you a bit of a demonstration how you've seen this work with Gassanolt in the past. All right, so on this table, looking at your rolls, you are looking for one example of a hay bale, one hay bale at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And the word relates to a rabbit. So I'll give you a working example of this. What this would be you would go somewhere and you are looking for a place that for some reason has one hay bale. Now that could be a bale sitting outside of a place where it normally wouldn't be. Like, why is there a bale of hay sitting outside this inn, right?
Yeah.
When you go and have a look at that and you basically you look at the fact that at 3 o'clock you come to that inn where this one hay bale is there, right? And the word is rabbit. So when you enter that inn, right, it could be, do you have some rabbit, Or you may look on the menu and it says there's a rabbit pie. It's the special. So it's really up to you guys then to approach someone in that environment and find out what's special about the rabbit pie or something like that and work out a clue to work out who that is. And in 90% of the time, that is that is your contact within the order. Okay?
Oh.
All right. Okay. Sometimes the word is also a code. So the word might be, you go into, at 3 o'clock, you walk into that inn that has one bale of hay out the front. People just look at you, and there's a rabbit pie on the menu, and, you might come in there, or there's no rabbit pie on the menu, and it might just be walk in and say, do you have any rabbit? And that may be enough, like the password, basically. All right? Okay. So, yeah. So basically, you now have the coda. You have a new Tyer. And you have beautiful big beef steaks to enjoy. Okay.
Are there any left, Patrick? Are there any steaks left?
Yes, as he takes one out of his mouth that is already sort of half chewed. Yes.
There was plenty there because, as I said, they killed this bull. They've got to get rid of it. So they basically, you sit there and, you know, in quiet companionship. But all of you thinking about the things that have been provided to you, the fact that nothing was provided to Windra is something that's quite quiet and goes against tradition. Normally if a Tyer, the role of a Tyer is to, over time, to gather something as a memento in their passing or the transition from one Tyer to another. If a Tyer rescinds their role, they can do that in person. Right? But often it's not an item. It's usually just perhaps a note. Something of value. No one expects there to be a gift or a memento. But in this case, it's unusual. Windra, there was nothing for her. But for the rest of you, something very relevant to yourself. Okay.
Two things.
Yeah?
Firstly, with the items you described, are you going to provide kind of like details about those?
Yes, certainly would. And what I will say to you is, you're obviously aware all of the items that have been provided to you have some arcane element to them. Right?
Yep.
So that would be part of them.
And then, secondly,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to sleep, aren't we? After this.
Yeah, I think so. That would be the plan.
If I'm able to get a somewhat moment alone with, oh my god, I can't. It was just in my head. Oh, what's our druid's name?
Windra.
Windra, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel really bad that I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I've got this extra set of armor that's magical that I'm not really using. It's almost quite literally brand new. So I was gonna ask if, or give it to her, and if she, I mean, I felt bad, so.
Now that is leather armor,
Give
isn't
it.
it? It's leather armor, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I already looked. I made sure because druids don't wear anything else.
that's right. And for Stormborn, it's even more important. They wear no metal.
Yeah.
So,
So I will hand her my armor of lies, if she will take it.
okay. So you hand the armor over, and Windra says, "Thank you. I will need to change the buckles, but it's marvelous. Thank you." And she said,
Yeah, no worries. I wasn't using it anyway, you know.
Did you mention? Do you mention anything about the fact that you're giving it to her just because you're concerned she didn't receive anything?
Yeah, I'll say something along the lines of, I mean, I noticed the rest of us all got these like cool looking magic items, and I kind of felt a little bit bad. So you can have this. It's I'm not using it, so it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. She looks at you and just, don't worry. Gassanolt gave me something that will be with me forever. Already. In the evening before we went to bed and found he was gone. Thank you. So I appreciate it, and I will take it. Our people, a gift is never ignored, is never rejected.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm gonna go to bed now.
And you look at her, and in the darkness, her eyes, the storm-born eyes, the red, faint glow, like infrared-y sort of glow of her eyes as you walk past. Make an insight roll for me for Damien.
I was just about to ask if I could do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah. Alright.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna guide myself, but it's a bit awkward to do.
Yeah, a bit late. You look, and there's something about her look in the darkness, and she's sitting there, and her hood is pulled up. She often leaves her storm hood up, and there is something about her face and that eyes. There's something in the back of your mind, and you don't know where you've seen this before, but you have.
Alright, I will
Pack up,
sleep on that.
and get to your hammock. All right, so you all pack yourself into your hammock. Now, guys, what do you want to do? Do you want to carry on now, or do you want to...
Yeah.
Sorry? You broke up then.
No, it's all right, mate. Before going to sleep, I was just going to set a little bell trap.
Yeah, okay.
Just a bit of little bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess without Annie here, do you want to carry on for a while, or do you want to finish up now?
I think this is a good finishing point to wait for Annie to get back. Personally.
I appreciate it's only been a couple of hours, but you're going to be in Angel's Port tomorrow. The intention that I had for these first couple of sessions was really an extended session 0, right? To set up the basis of your characters with the fact of, as the campaign proper starts, you're arriving having resolved Gasanolt's passing. When you get there, you can act on using the coda formally to try and get this sort of contact sorted out, and also to progress your, I don't know, investigation of this merchant, follow through with that, the issue of the 2 crew members having the same tattoo, and the fact that you still have an undetermined item in Gasanolt's, the things that were in the bag that were not a gift.